Namaste, my dear friends. In the earlier session, we referred by discussing elaboratively the concept of sports sector, entertainment sector, followed by transportation of passenger sector, exemptions under the GST. Now I'm going to take up tour and travel services. What are the tour and travel transactions qualify for exemption? Presenting now one by one is as follows, my dear friends. Tour and travel services. In the given case, especially tour and travel services supplied by specified organizations in respect of religious pilgrimage only qualify from exemption. That too, what type of religious pilgrimage? Which is facilitated the government of India under the bilateral agreement with the other country only qualify from exemption, meaning thereby Kuman Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited, Uttarakhand undertaking, state government of Uttarakhand undertaking, Kuman Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited offered tour and travel services to our Indians, especially our Hindu brothers, to perform their worship at Lord Shiva Manasa Sarovar. Then such tour and travel offered by Kuman Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited qualify from exemption. Likewise, Hajj Committee of India offered tour and travel services to Indians to perform their religious pilgrimage at Hajj. I mean to say the religious pilgrimage relating to Hajj and Umrah services in Saudi Arabia. In both the cases, predominant element is religious purpose, where the government of India having bilateral agreement with Tibet, with Saudi Arabia, allowing our Indians to perform their worship relating to that particular worship, religious place, Mansarovar, which is holy place for us. Lord Shiva, for his darshan purpose, many of our Indians used to travel by crossing the Indian border and reaching to the particular Lord Shiva place to take the blessings of the Almighty, where state government of Uttarakhand undertaking, namely Kuman Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited, offer the tour and travel, qualify for exemption. Similarly, as I told you, Hajj Committee of India, central level or state level, offering our Muslim brothers to perform their Hajj and Umrah services in Saudi Arabia, where the government of India having the bilateral agreement with Saudi Arabia. In that case, such service offered by Hajj Committee of India, central level, state level, provide the tour and travel services exempted. So the conditions here, supplier should be 1. Kumar Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited, State Government of Uttarakhand undertaking. 2. Hajj Committee of India, central or state level, as the case may be, is the suppliers. Second one, the purpose is tour and travel relating to religious pilgrimage purpose. Third condition, Government of India has a bilateral agreement with the other country to permit our Indians to perform their worship. Then such a tour and travel offered by Hajj Committee or Kumar Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited qualify for exemption. This is what I said to you. Let me complete, my dear friends. For the performance of Hajj and Umrah services, for the purpose of performance or to facilitate our pilgrims to take the blessings of Almighty Lord Shiva at Manas Sarovar, for this only qualify exemption. Suppose Kumar Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited, State Government of Uttarakhand undertaking, provide these services to our pilgrims as a tour and travel services for Amarnath Yatra, religious only. Second one, supplier is Kumar Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited, tour and travel to pilgrims. But here it is not going to be fit under the exemption category. It is taxable nature. Reason, where the Amarnath is available to take the blessings of the Almighty in our India itself, Jammu and Kashmir, no need of any bilateral agreement required here. In such cases, even though Kumar Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited offered tour and travel services, not qualify for exemption. Now ask your doubt, my dear friends. Yes. See, to qualify this exemption, there is a or is mentioned, a government of undertaking, or see, I have you feel that or means what? The service shall be in respect of religious pilgrimage. Again, I am telling you, if it is not a religious pilgrimage, then Kumar Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited or Hajj Committee of India not going to offer any type of tour if it is not a religious nature. Try to understand. If somebody want to go for honeymoon, Hajj Committee of India never going to provide honeymoon services. Not permitted their bylaws to do so. They are formed only for the given purpose. For the purpose of pilgrimage to perform the tour and travel services, not any other services. All the three conditions should be there. Supplier should be Hajj Committee or Kumar Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited. No doubt about that. They should be provided what? Religious pilgrimage, where there must be bilateral agreement. Point number 1, point number 2, point number 3. If they provide in fact any other service other than the religious pilgrimage, where there is no bilateral agreement, then obviously taxable only. See, the R is mentioned here in between of the nature of Hajj Committee or Kuman Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited. Point number 1. Service shall be provided by specified organizations. Second one, the services shall be in respect of the religious pilgrimage. That means here there is a R. Any other, if tomorrow going to be mentioned by notification, some other institution may be considered. But it is not that services supplied by specified organizations or else what? Some other in the other organization. That means that extent only you have considered. Do not consider the second point as a substitution to first point. It is not so. It is not so. It should be the following nature. Supplier should be Kuman Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited or Hajj Committee of India. The second one is it should be a religious pilgrimage purpose. Third one, there must be a bilateral agreement. Yes. If tomorrow Kuman Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited, suppose they offer the pilgrimage to our pilgrims to take the darshan of the Lord Venkateswara Swami Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, Tirumala. There is no need of any bilateral agreement. That is missing. Therefore, that is not going to fit under this category of exemption. That means taxable nature. Simple to say. Further, my defense. Services offered by tour and travel operator to a foreign tourist in foreign country absolutely exempted in India. One example I will tell you. Take this here. I am Mr. Nambiar, tour and travel service operator. I am Mr. Nambiar, tour and travel operator from Cochin. I offered the tour to Ivanka, daughter of Trump of USA. Where I offered the tour? In Dhaka. Service provider, tour and travel services from India, offer the tour and travel services to foreign nationalists. Where? In outside India, then qualify exemption. In the given case, Nambiar provides the services, tour and travel to daughter of Trump, Ivanka, in Dhaka, namely Bangladesh, absolutely exempted in India. Now the point comes into picture. Suppose Ivanka said, "Hey Mr. Nambiar, I want to have some more tour and travel even in India also." I love India. I want to travel to India also. Could you please provide tour and travel services? Then Nambiar said, "Why not? You are most welcome." Nambiar, tour and travel service operator, offered the tour partly in India as well as partly outside India to a foreign nationalist. In that case, exemption has been granted if the Indian tour and travel operator offered the tour to foreign nationalist outside India, exempted in India. In the case where if it is partly in India partly outside India, in that case, circular issued by CBIC elaboratively, proportionate of supply of services in India is taxable, proportionate of service attributable to outside India is exempted. What proportionate? How we understand? There is a circular of the CBIC in this regard, clarification, and moreover there is a notification also. The tour services which is performed partly in India and partly outside India, supplied by a tour operator to a foreign tourist, to the extent of the value of tour operator services which is performed outside India, is exempt from India. What is exempt in India is proportionate of tour and travel services provided outside India. For that they said here, provided that the value of tour operator service performed outside India shall be such proportion of the total consideration charged for the entire tour which is equal to the proportion which the number of days for which the tour is performed outside India has the total number of days comprising the tour, or 50% of the total consideration charged for the entire tour, whichever is less is the amount to be considered as proportionate to outside India. To that extent is exempted. Provided further that in making the above calculation for what purpose? To identify proportionate amount of tour and travel services which is taken place outside India. For that purpose, here they said, any duration of time equal to or exceeding 12 hours shall be considered as one full day, and any duration of time less than 12 hours shall be taken as half a day. Very important to note. This is the point to be understood. It is applicable only when there is a proportionate amount of computation of number of days which is outside India. Tour operator outside India only I am referring here, shall be such proportion of the total consideration charged for the entire tour which is equal to the proportion which the number of days for which the tour is performed outside India has to the total number of days comprising of the tour, or 50% of the total consideration charged. Among the two, whichever is lesser value is the value applicable as proportionate of services outside India, which is exempted. For that number of days, computation they given here, 12 hours and above 1 day, less than 12 hours it is half a day. How to understand this with example? Yes, you take example this straight away. I will come to first example. Example 3 you take first, no problem, fine. Example 3 will be suitable for this. Nambiar Tour and Travel Cochin, Kerala from India. Tour and travel services supplied. To whom supplied? To Mr. Trump, USA, foreign tourist. In the given case, if there is a tour and travel service offered to foreign nationalist, where they offered 2.5 days in India, 3 days in Nepal. Now When you proportionate the amount of consideration 1 lakh into number of days outside India 3 days divided by total find of days. Sir, you why not converting into half day as 1 day, sir? No. Reason, the rounding figure is applicable for the number of days services are offered outside India. When the numerator I am going to be compute, that time only I should round off. So in the given case, how much comes value? 3 days divided by 5.5 days into 1 lakh consideration. Quickly, fast, you tell me, compute and tell me. Do not look on the screen. Reciprocate with me. Communicate with me. How much, Amma? You are simply sitting in the in front of screen or what? Yes, 54,545. Or this amount or 1 lakh into 50%, which is 50,000. Whichever is less, whichever is less. That is important to note. Whichever is less. Which is less? 50,000. 50,000 value of services attributable to outside India is the meaning of it. Resultantly, that is exempted. Balance 50,000 in India, therefore taxable. Further, example 4. This gives more clarity. Nambia Tour and Travel Services from Cochin, Kerala, India provide the tour and travel services to Mr. Trump, USA, foreign citizen, foreign tourist. Here, 2 days in India, 2.5 days in Nepal. The value of consideration is 1 lakh only. Now, when you proportionate 1 lakh into number of days outside India, numerator, here it is 2.5 days, means 2 days 12 hours. 12 hours and above should be 1 day. Therefore, it should be moved as, suppose if that is the case, should convert into here as 3 days divided by 5 days, because 3 plus 2, 5 days. If there is a case, how much comes value? How much comes? 60,000. Or 50% of 1 lakh, 50,000. Whichever is less. Therefore, 50,000 less, which is exempt out of 1 lakh. The balance amount is taxable. Balance amount is taxable. If you take one example here, this example one you take, in the given case, supplier is Nambia Tour and Travel from Cochin, Kerala, provide these services to Trump, USA, foreign tourist. What type of service provided? They have provided services of the tour and travel services. Value how much? 1 lakh. 3 days in India, 2 days in Nepal. In that case, that 1 lakh into 2 days divided by 5 days, the amount comes how much? Quickly, for 40,000. or 50% of 1 lakh, namely 50,000, whichever is less. Therefore, exempted rupees 40,000 exempt. Exempt. The balance 60,000 is taxable. Is the way in which the clarification we have one can expect in the examination. Tour and travel services, partly in India, partly outside India, offered by the Indian tour travel operator to a foreign citizen only. So conditions again, supplier should be from India, tour and travel services, offered to recipient who should be a foreign nationalist, foreign tourist. Foreign tourist. How can you say foreign tourist? Who is not holding Indian passport is called foreign tourist. Provide these services partly in India, partly outside India. This is a proportion to bifurcate. This is the basis of proportion to bifurcate the value attributable to outside India. Further, my dear friends, suppose if the problem says the entire tour and travel service offered by Nambiar Tour and Travel from Cochin, Kerala to Mr. Trump in Nepal, fully in Nepal, that is equal to exempted supply. Fully in India is equal to fully taxable. You may put a different concept. Sir, Indian tour and travel operator provide these services to Indians, sir, partly in India, partly outside India, fully taxable. Place of supply concept will come into picture. Section 12, section 2 speaks place of supply is what? Location of the recipient if it is identifiable in the ordinary course of business as a registered person. That place. Sir, if the recipient is a registered person, the address of the recipient is available with the supplier is a place of supply. Sir, not available, sir. Location of supplier is a place of supply. As a result, liable to pay GST. There is no question of exemption. With this, the tour and travel services exemptions completed. Referring to you here, transportation of goods sector services. Transportation of goods sector services. Referring to you, my dear, transportation of goods sector. Different mode of transportations. By road, by rail, by vessel, through conduct, namely pipeline, by air. So there are so many modes of transportation of goods. Upfront, the GST Council said, hey, Mr. Transporter, are you transporting the goods by road? Exempted. Other than GTA. Means what? Should not use the vehicle. Should not use motor vehicle. Other than courier. If you are transporting courier agency services, purpose transporting the particular way, envelopes and all, courier distribution purpose is taxable. We are not talking about goods transport agency. If so, taxable. If not, specifically exempt elsewhere. Here we are telling transportation of goods by road exempted only when if it's not used by motor vehicles. What do you mean then? It should be like this. See here. Not a motor vehicle. Such a transportation by road exempted. Otherwise, best to go with this bullock cart exempted, which is not a vehicle, which is not a motor vehicle. Further, best way to carry on head or shoulder. Human being, not a motor vehicle. Then, like that, transportation of goods only exempted. Then the experts across the India start to criticize what type of exemption it is. Is an exemption without exemption. How can we transport on our shoulder, on our head, or where is the bullock carts nowadays to transport the goods? If I want to transport the goods in a bullock cart, it may be reaching after 2 days the destination, even for small area of coverage of transportation. So practically this is not so helpful. Like that, the experts, the GST, started to criticize. Then the government, upon the recommendation of GST Council, said, hey, industry, look here. We mean to say that transportation of goods by road exempted other than the GTA as well as courier. Meaning what? You can transport goods in a vehicle, still that transportation of goods in a motor vehicle cannot be called as a goods transport agency. In the case where if the motor vehicle used to transport the goods where consignment note not required to issue cases, such transportation of goods in such motor vehicles absolutely qualify for exemption. What do you mean this? It means the Government of India, upon the recommendation of GST Council, said, in the given case, look here, is a tripper motor vehicle using for transportation of goods, where this tripper is using within the premises of a particular mining area or a quarry, where extracting the minerals or the what we crude material, coal and all from one location and bringing to other location within the premises of a particular mining area or pit. In such case, this transporter not required to issue consignment note within the closed circuit of a particular pit of mining area. For example, I'm telling you, is moving this vehicle, no need to issue consignment note. In that case, such transportation of goods in such tripper absolutely qualify for exemption. Or otherwise, the vehicles of like this using to transport the goods, small vehicles, we call it small vehicle, which is the smallest within the shortest distance. I can say that within the city premises. For example, from one street to other street, from Mount Road to, let us say, Saidapet to Tambaram to Velacheri. For example, in this case of Chennai, if it is Mumbai, from Andheri to a particular place of Matunga, distance, no need to issue any consignment note within the city of Mumbai. Like that, if you transport the goods in a small vehicle, no need to issue consignment note. Then the freight charged by the transporter of the vehicle absolutely qualify from exemption. Is the meaning of it. Further, referring to further from here, transportation of goods by inland waterways also be called as national waterways. In simple terminology, passing through river. For that purpose, a vessel used to transport the goods passing through river, inland waterways, also be called as national waterways. Absolutely qualify from exemption, whatever may be the goods transported. The freight is absolutely exempted. One example I referred here by saying that a particular vessel transporting the goods from West Coast Canal from Kottapuram to Kollam through passing through a river is called as inland waterways transportation, are not taxable. All types of goods of transportation exempted. Further, transportation of goods by rail, Indian Railways, by rail means Indian Railways. Dear friends, as you are aware of that, all supplies of Indian Railways from 20th October 2023 is forward charge, irrespective of the status of the recipient. Unless specifically exempted, I said many times. Here, yes. If the following type of goods are transported: 1. Relief material meant for victims of natural or man-made disasters, calamities, accidents or mishap. Relief material transportation in Indian Railways. Absolutely exempted. Defense or military equipment transported exempted. Newspapers or magazines registered with the register of newspapers absolutely exempted. Newspapers registered in the register of newspapers, magazines only exempted. Textbooks, reading materials, textbooks not qualify exemption. Reason: textbook not required to registered under the register of newspapers. That is the reason. Now, railway equipment transported by railway as a distinct persons, distinct persons, absolutely now taxable because exemption not providing to them. Why not providing exemption? Exemption not providing because of railway equipment. Let them pay GST. Exemption not there. Reason of exemption withdrawn: railway equipment transport by railways to bring the uniformity among the mode of transportation. We too have transportation of goods by road in a motor vehicle, where also therein also very clearly said transportation of railway equipment taxable by road. Then why should be by rail? It is exempted. Therefore, to bring that uniformity, here they said, okay, fine, it is taxable. Railway equipment taxable, my dear friend, transport by rail. Agriculture produce transportation exempted. Milk, salt, and food grains. Food grain includes flour, pulses, and rice. Exempted. Rice, why exempted, sir? Rice is not an agriculture produce. Said by the Minister of Minister of Finance, very clearly said, rice is not an agriculture produce. Paddy is an agriculture produce. Transportation of organic manure exempted by rail. What is exempted by rail is also be exempted transport of that goods by vessel. Transportation of goods by rail or vessel. The points what I referred just now: relief material, defense material, newspapers or magazines registered in the register of newspapers, agricultural produce, milk, salt, food grains, which includes flour, pulses, and rice, organic manure transportation. what I referred just now, these points, what is exempted if transport of this nature of goods by rail, also be exempted if it is transport by vessel, in a vessel through sea or through sea coastal waterways. Inland waterways, whatever may be the goods transported exempted. That's why I mentioned whatever type of goods you transport exempted. But if you transport from a Cochin port to Chennai port, passing through ocean only, which is not a national waterways, which is not a Indian waterways, therefore it's called coastal waterways. Absolutely taxable if that goods not belongs to this nature. Transportation of laptops through inland waterways, namely national waterways, taxable or exempted? Exempt. Excellent. Hats off the answer. Same laptops transported in a vessel from Cochin port to Chennai port, passing through ocean, coastal waterways, taxable or exempted? That's it. That's very good presentation. Taxable since it is not covered under the exempted supply of nature of goods. That is the sentence. Further, my dear friends, come back. Goods Transport Agency. Transportation of goods by goods transport agency, goods carriage agency. We also call goods transport agency, GTA. Exempted. When exempted means services by way of granting national permit to a goods carriage to operate throughout India or contiguous states exempt from GST. The RTA here means Regional Transport Authority. We used to call RTO, Regional Transport Officer, Road Transport Officer. Grant the national permit to the goods carriage vehicles by charging the fees. That fee is fully exempted. For goods transport agencies who own the motor vehicles to travel from Kashmir to Kanyakumari need to obtain the national permit. Further, that is that exemption from payment of GST. Furthermore, goods transport agency, if transport the following type of goods exempted. What type of goods are exempted if transport by rail or vessel? Copy and paste here also, qualify exemption. One, what is exempt there? The relief material. Two, defense material. Third one, newspapers, magazines, registered under register of newspapers. Fourth one, agricultural produce. Further, milk, salt, and food grains, which includes flour means atta, pulses, rice. Transportation of organic manure exempted by rail, by vessel, also be exempted by transportation of goods by road in a vehicle. Nothing more or nothing less. Further, my dear friends, transportation of goods by road in a motor vehicle, goods transport agency, furthermore exemption. Services provided by a goods transport agency, GTA, to an unregistered person, including an unregistered casual taxable person other than the specified recipient, also be exempt from GST. What do you mean this? How to understand this point? Simple, my dear friends. In a given case where, let us say, one example, Mrs. Hanuman and Company, which is a GTA, providing transportation of household article, which is not exempted goods, but household articles transporting where they are the supplier and the recipient is Mr. Rafi, who is unregistered individual. In that case, it is not attract the GST. This whatever may be transporting, namely freight, that is fee, rupees, for example, 20,000, which is absolutely exempted from the payment of the GST. Further, my dear friends, GTA, transportation of goods by road, services supplied by GTA to government. When I say government, you should be below with what? Yes, central, state, or union territory. Local authority means you blow with what? Panchayat, municipality, corporation, greater corporation, like that. Government agencies, which includes governmental authority, government entity, registered only to deduct TDS is also exempt. That means to say that you provide these services being a GTA, for example here, in the given case, my dear, you being a Hanuman and Company GTA supplier, if you provide the transportation of goods, services, now to, let us say, Greater Chennai Corporation, namely GCC, Greater Chennai Corporation, you provide these services. Greater Chennai Corporation is registered only to deduct tax related source unpaid to department. For that purpose only the government local authority has been got registered. Otherwise, they have no other payment of GST. They are not liable to pay GST. Their services falls under Article 243G or Article 243W of the Constitution. Therefore, there is no question of payment of the GST by them. But they got registered only to deduct and pay the TDS as per Section 51 of the CGST Act. We have under the GST law TDS provisions. For that purpose, they got registered. Just because of that purpose, they got registered, being a government, local authority, or government agencies, or governmental agencies. To them, GTA provide the services absolutely free from GST. One practical example I will bring to your notice. When the state of Andhra Pradesh bifurcated into two as Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, state government of Andhra Pradesh secretariat, that time located in Hyderabad, that furniture need to shift to Andhra Pradesh. That time GTA provide the services to state government of Andhra Pradesh Secretariat to shift that furniture from Hyderabad to Andhra Pradesh to the Amaravati. That time it is very clear that state secretariat liable to pay GST? Absolutely not. But they got registered in GST law. What for? To pay the TDS purpose. In that case, the GTS applies to such a registered person, absolutely exempted. Is the meaning of it. Further, as you understood, if the individual trucks or tempo operators who do not issue any consignment note are not covered within the meaning of a GTA, resultantly, transportation of goods in such vehicles absolutely qualify from exemption. Further, transportation of goods by an aircraft from a place outside India to a place of custom station of clearances in India. My dear friends, undoubtedly, if the goods are coming from outside India into India, either by land route, by air, or through sea, as the case may be, it should be first and foremost come to the custom station. After obtaining the clearances only, that can be cleared for domestic tariff area purpose. If the goods are coming from USA by air to Indian custom station, that air freight absolutely free from GST. But it is not a vice versa. If the goods are transporting by air from India to a place outside India, the exemption was there, now removed. That is air freight at GST. What about transportation of goods? Transportation of goods in a vessel from a place outside India up to Indian custom station. Transportation of goods in a vessel from outside India to Indian custom station. Import of goods, who liable to pay what? Importer liable to pay custom duty to Department of Customs. Sir, there is a freight, no sea freight. No problem. Sea freight now not attract the GST. Amendment we had already, I refer this point to you. Sea freight not attract the GST. Why? Sea freight not attract GST means, as you are aware of that, in the case of Mohit Minerals Private Limited case, Supreme Court of India also said IGST cannot be levied on such sea freight if the goods are imported on CIF basis. Accordingly, amendment has to be taken place under the GST law. Sea freight, IGST cannot be levied in the case of import of goods on CIF basis. CIF means what? Cost, insurance, freight. That freight should not be taxed under GST law because it is going to form part of the composite supply of import of goods. Principal supply is goods liable to pay custom duties. Further, my dear friends, what about this transportation of goods using spacecraft? You are aware of that? ISRO, Indian company, ISRO, Government of India undertaking, excellent manner performing, Indian Space Research Organization. What they are providing here? They are using their rocket launchers. Rocket launcher is a vehicle transporting the goods. The goods here is the satellites. If so, transportation of goods in the rocket launchers by ISRO absolutely exempted. Not only ISRO is exempted, thereafter the Indian Space Research Organization, not only that, Antheris Corporation Limited also be exempted. Not only that, New Space India Limited also be exempted. Now what happened? From 27th July 2023 onwards, they said, whoever may be capable to launch into the orbit, in the space, satellites using the rocket launches, such transportation of goods absolutely exempted, whoever may be supplying the services. Here I said ISRO is a supplier of service, recipient A Incorporation of USA. So what? What type of nature of supply? Transportation of goods. Who are providing? Whoever may provide, using their rocket launches and placing the goods into the orbit. Absolutely exempted. Whoever may provide. This is what they said here. Here, this exemption is extended to such service supplied by organizations even in private sectors. No problem. They are exempted from the payment of the GST. The exemption has been expanded, the scope of it. Further, my dear friends, with this, transportation of goods sector is concluded. Referring here, hiring of or leasing of motor vehicles, hiring or leasing sector, hiring or leasing. What is exempted means a particular vehicle, is it transportation of passenger vehicle? Yes, is a transportation of passenger vehicle. This transportation of passenger vehicle, seating capacity how much? Seating capacity, sir, it is more than 12 passengers, sir. More than 12 passengers seating capacity motor vehicle given on hire basis or lease basis to a state transport undertaking, For example, this motor vehicle owned by Sharma Travels given to Pallavan Transport Corporation, Ambedkar Transport Corporation, state government of Tamil Nadu undertaking transportation. In that case, qualify exemption, the hiring charges. Very clearly they mentioned here. On hire basis to a state transport undertaking. This motor vehicle given a hire basis qualify for exemption. It is more than 12 number. Sir, less than equal to 12 number passenger vehicle given to the Kerala Transport Corporation. Taxable. Sir, is a state transport undertaking, no sir, correct. But the vehicle is a seating capacity how much? 12, sir. Then it should be more than 12. You may get a doubt. Is it inclusive of driver or exclusive of driver? Whenever we say here passenger number is inclusive of driver only. Further, my dear friends, services by way of giving on hire to a goods transport agency, by means of transportation of goods, namely a goods carriage vehicle given on hire basis to a particular another goods transport agency, then qualify exemption. Navata, a goods carrier, given this on hire basis to Hanuman and Company, which is also a goods transport agency. So, giving on hire basis a motor vehicle designed to carry the goods carriage vehicle to a goods transport agency qualify for an exemption. That means supplier may be any person given on hire basis goods carriage vehicle to goods transport agency, then only exempted. Further, on hire basis, a motor vehicle meant for transportation of passengers, that vehicle given on hire basis to a particular education institution, absolutely exempted. One should understand here, this exemption giving an higher basis, a particular motor vehicle to whom? To an education institution. Which education institution talking about here? That education institution should be one, preschool. Second one, it should be higher secondary school or equivalent. That's all. Sir, transportation of passenger vehicle given higher basis to Anna University, sir. Sorry, exemption not there. In the educational sector, I will refer this point. Transportation of students, faculty, and staff of preschool or higher secondary school, which is up to 12th standard, only qualify exemption. In that case, my name is Mr. Ram. I am Mr. Ram, a registered person GST law. Mr. Ram giving on hire basis his motor vehicle to Don Bosco Higher Secondary School. My hire charges absolutely exempted, says Mr. Ram. Statement true or false? Statement true or false? Ram says, I am a registered person. I given hire basis motor vehicle to Don Bosco School for transportation of students, faculty, and staff. Don Bosco School, Higher Secondary School. Ram says, my hiring charges exempted. The statement of Mr. Ram, true or false? True. There is what exemption under the education sector. Because I provide service to whom? To higher secondary school. Even if I provide to preschool, also be exempted. Now, Ram provide these services to preschool or higher secondary school, transportation of students, faculty, staff purpose. He given a higher basis, his vehicle is exempted. Now, Don Bosco School said, hey Mr. Ram, we have so many admissions now. We need more vehicles. Then Ram said, definitely I will provide. Then further Ram approached to Rahim. Hey Mr. Rahim, are you having motor vehicle, transportation of passengers vehicle? Can you give on hire basis to me? I am going to use these vehicles to pick up and drop off Don Bosco School students. Rahim said, definitely I will provide to you. So Rahim is providing hiring or leasing of motor vehicle to Ram. In return, Ram is providing services of transportation of the students of Don Bosco School. Ram to Don Bosco school is exempted. Rahim to Ram exempted or not? A question mark. That has been addressed here. Rahim to Ram also be exempted because Ram to Don Bosco school is exempted. Got the clarity now? Yes. As simple as that. Transportation of passenger vehicle, EV, electrical vehicle, electrically operated vehicle, passenger vehicle, given on hire basis to whom? To local authority. Supplier should be any person. It should be electrically operated vehicle, EV motor vehicle, transport for passengers, given on hire basis to whom? To local authority. Then only exempted. EV only exempted. Hybrid won't bring. Sir, partly petrol, one is on running, it become a charging. Therefore, backup support from battery. Therefore, hybrids are hybrid not taxable. Only exclusively EV motor vehicle, electrically operated. Only qualify here exemption. Hiring or leasing of agro machinery means using for agriculture purpose, cultivation purpose, given a higher basis, absolutely exempted from the payment of the GST. Further, important point, we have here amendments. Services by way of renting of residential dwelling for use as residence is also exempt from GST. Now, it is specifically said the recipient, tenant should be unregistered person, then only exempted. What about residential dwelling? Residential property for residential dwelling given to a registered person, exemption not applicable. RCM applies. Recipient liable to pay GST. Recipient liable to pay GST. I already covered to you people RCM chapter, am I right? I covered. Yes. There also I refer this. If the recipient is a registered person, the recipient liable to pay GST. But anyhow, I will tell you this in a simplified manner. As follows. Now listen, sir. Residential dwelling, its taxation as follows. Look here. The law of the land today applicable for your exam of May 2024 onwards, or it is already there amendment from 18 July 2022. Anyhow, for our coming exam, residential dwelling property given for what purpose? Use as a business or commerce, taxable, forward charge. One example. I am Mr. Rafi, individual. I am a registered person GST law. Where my turnover is more than the 20 lakhs of threshold limit for registration. So, Mr. Rafi, being a registered person under GST law, own triple bedroom independent house in Mylapore, Chennai. Independent house. What Mr. Rafi did here is, he let out that independent residential house to State Bank of India to have their banking operations. Means what? Residential property which is given for commercial purposes. taxable. The rent is attracted the GST in the hands of the supplier, forward charge, supply liability to pay GST. One part over. Coming to the other part, a residential property given for residential use, residential dwelling only, is for residential purpose, given for residential dwelling only, not commercial purpose. In that case, in the given case, a recipient is an initial person, yes sir, exempted from payment of GST. Recipient is a registered person, sir, registered person, sir. In that case, liable to pay GST. Who liable to pay GST? Being a recipient liable to pay GST under RCM, even though the supplier may be registered, may be unregistered. RCM apply. With one example, Mr. Rafi, a registered person at GST law, because he is a practicing cost accountant, holding the certificate of practice. As a result, my turnover already exceeds 20 lakhs. I am a regularly taxpayer under GST. I have my own residence in Velachery, Chennai. Using for residential purpose only. Now, I shifted my residence from Velachery to Sitalapakam, where I have my own house. I shifted. And Velachery also is my own house, which I want to give on rental basis. Infosys company HR approached me, sir, we came to know you have well furnished house in Velachery, residential house. Could you please provide to our CFO? Why not? Definitely I will provide, sir. Rent 2 lakh rupees per month, sir. I said. They said, no problem. Company is going to bear it. Don't worry at all. So Mr. Rafi made an agreement with the Infosys company where I permitted my property for residential purposes to CFO, his family residence purpose. But I made an agreement with whom? To Infosys company. Undoubtedly, needless to say that Infosys company registered person. Now, I have given my residential property for residential use to whom? To registered person. Supplier also registered person only. Mr. Rafi also registered person. Immaterial. Supplier registered person or unregistered person? Immaterial. Supplied to whom? Registered person. Then RCM apply. Who liable to pay GST and 2 lakh rupees rent every month paying by the Infosys company to Rafi? Recipient. Namely, Infosys company liable to pay GST. Is an amended provision from 18 July 2022. Suppose, on the other hand, Mr. Rafi said, sir, why should unnecessarily this particular RCM come to you, sir? Rafi said to Infosys company, whoever may be CFO is going to decide. Let us have agreement with the CFO. Hey, Mr. CFO of Infosys company, you pay from your pocket the rent to Mr. Rafi, then there won't be any GST under RCM. Infosys company accepted, and where I made agreement with CFO of Infosys company. Landlord, Mr. Rafi, registered person. Recipient is CFO of Infosys company, individual, unregistered person. Rent I am collecting 2 lakh rupees per month. In that case, is it taxable? It is absolutely exempted because it is an exemption, residential dwelling given for residential purposes, residential dwelling house given for residential purposes to unregistered person is exempted. If it is exempted, question of forward charge or reverse charge does not arise. Only the asterisk here is recipient is a registered person or recipient is an unregistered person. Recipient, registered person, property, residential property given on rent for residential dwelling purpose. Recipient registered person, RCM apply. Recipient unregistered person, exemption apply. Now there is a ambiguity arises after having this amended provision in the industry. What happened? A case where now like this, you are a landlord, you are the owner of the house in Chennai, you own triple bedroom independent house you own, which is residential purpose, independent house, triple bedroom, you are the owner of the house. Mr. Rafi approached you, sir, could you please give your independent triple bedroom house on rental basis? I want to reside there with my family, sir, for residential purpose only. You said, why not, sir? Rent is 2 lakh rupees, you said. I accepted. But Mr. Rafi, who is a tenant now, basically a sole proprietor in the name of Rafi and Associates. Rafi and Associates, a registered person with GST law, in which Mr. Rafi is a sole proprietor. Such a sole proprietor is a registered person. Now, Mr. Rafi made an agreement to you where you given on rental basis your residential property for residential dwelling to Mr. Rafi. Mr. Rafi is a sole proprietor and registered person also in GST law. If so, RCM apply? A question mark. This has been addressed by the CBIC, stating that if a sole proprietor, I am using the word, underline it, if a sole proprietor of a sole proprietorship firm, though a registered person, if he acted as his independent capacity as an individual, made an agreement with the landlord, then the supply of this renting of immovable property for residential dwelling purpose is provided to unregistered person only. Though the sole proprietor of that individual, the individual is a sole proprietor of a sole proprietorship firm where that is registered person. In spite of that, sole proprietor may be registered person, but he made an agreement with the landlord in his individual capacity as individual, then it is unregistered person only. The RCM not applicable. How it should be understood? Individual capacity means I approached you, sir. I am Mr. Rafi, sir. I am an individual, sir. I want to reside in your property as my for residential purposes, sir. Myself, my wife, my children want to reside it, sir. We are going to use for residential purpose, sir. Then Mr. Rafi going to make the payment out of his own money. Means what? As a what we can drawings, drawings. I am a sole proprietor. Farm and individual both are one and same. In that case, the whatever the payment is paid rent to you is out of my drawings, not the Rafi and Associates make the payment to you, which is not an expenditure, which you book the receipt and expenditure account in the name of Rafi and Associates. Individual capacity, Mr. Rafi approached you for the want of his residence purpose. Just because of he is a sole proprietor being registered person should not be bring as a RCM. Clarification given by the CBIC, which now I am presenting in front of you, is as follows. No GST on residential property rented in personal capacity for use as residence. GST Council said no GST is payable where a residential dwelling is rented to a registered person if the same is rented in their personal capacity and for use as their own residence. This means to say that where a registered person is a proprietor of a proprietorship firm and they have rented out a residential property in their personal or own capacity and not that of the proprietorship, and the property, namely the property, and the property is used for their own residence purpose, then no GST will be applicable as if it is a qualified from exemption. Qualify for exemption. Simple. Rafi and Associates. Mr. Rafi is a sole proprietor, registered person. But he made agreement with the landlord, X Limited, registered person, owned by the property owned by X Limited, where the agreement made on an individual basis, personal capacity basis, Mr. Rafi, then there is no GST under RCM. Is a qualified exemption. Question of RCM or FCM doesn't arise. Now please come back. Furthermore, referring here points for kind consideration, my dear friends. Upfront fee in long-term lease exempt from the GST. Upfront fee. The industrial development units offering, the state government, central government is to offer the corporate companies who come and have the unit in our place. We will provide the land freely. That means for 99 years lease, and don't need to pay the lease also. Rental, you just have the unit here. Thereby, our infrastructure will be developed here. Like that, the supplier of service being a state government, industrial development corporation or undertaking, or any entity having not less than, or I can say any entity in which not less than 20% of the equity shares held by the government or voting rights held by the government, as the case may be, that industrial units offering their new entrepreneurs to have the unit in their state, the state government offering so many incentives. In that case, while the new entrepreneurs, startup companies coming forward and install their units in the state, that time state government says, sir, we are giving to you the land freely, no, please provide us some pay upfront fees or a salami, we called. By using that money, we are going to use for your purpose only to lay the roads here, infrastructure, bringing electricity and drinking water facility, sewage facility, drainage facility, and all we provide, sir, out of your money only. While you're coming to our place, please give some upfront fee, which is absolutely exempted from the payment of the GST. Not only upfront fee is exempted, my dear friends, but also preferential location fees. Some industry companies will say, I want sea view, ocean view, I want, okay, extra pay 2 crores. I want corner bit, the industry company says, corner bit we want, I want 40 feet road or 100 feet road layout, I want. Like that, if the specifically asking where preferential location fees extra charging by the state government and additional undertakings also qualify for an exemption. The transfer of development rights, floor space index, this and all is belongs to real estate sector. Now the issue said for our May 2024 exam, it is not in syllabus, not in our syllabus. Circular is there of the CA Institute in the website also. Therefore, I am not giving the much concentration on this.